Good morning, world. Today, I'm going to talk about the title of this video, War, the Wet Dream of a True Aries. The real world's first profession, a never-ending racket. Well, basically today, I'm going to talk current affairs. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not a politician. I'll let you know. Uh, and I'm not into political science, and I'll let you know. All right. Do you remember James Earl Carter Jr.? Do you remember James Earl Carter Jr.? If you do, that's going to help. So, all right. In 1976, the year, the date, 11 May 1976, the person, Khalsa Satsunder Singh, the place, the United States AFI's office, Los Angeles, California, United States of America. The place, the time, the occasion. I raised this right hand and I pledged an oath. I signed on the dotted line of the lengthy piece of paper. I said I would protect the Constitution of the United States of America. On that day, 11 May 1976, with signatures and disclosure forms to dotted lines. Now we have a tyrant. The year 2022, the date, March 7th. The year is 2022 AD. Anno Domino, the year of our Lord. So here we are today. With a tyrant who wishes to control the world. All the signs were blatantly broadcast in the media, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, Democracy Now!, Clear, Voice of America. All these things were gently told to us as we went about our daily affairs, going to work, paying a mortgage, raising our children. Things that consumed our attention. Not anymore. This is not 1937, nor is it 1939, nor 1942, when we were at our greatest danger during that war. Back to 1976, the Carter administration. At that time, 11 May 1976, James Earl Carter Jr. was the chief executive officer of this country. George Herbert Walker Bush, the senior, at that time, 11 May 1976, was the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. I'm here today to claim what is mine. I am a Cold War veteran. I have never in my life, within the history of the United States of America, have ever once, nary a word, not one iota of anything resembling thank you for your service during the Cold War. Thank you for your service during that fearful time. Never, not even amongst veterans. Uh, During boot camp or basic training, is what the actual term is. Boot camp is full of shit. And I'm going to tell you how I appeared my first day at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. During the jungle guerrilla warfare of Vietnam, one had to adapt to know many things. And all through Vietnam, there were some who only served a term, a DROS date, date of separation of return to the stateside. That was usually 12 to 18 months. Some gallant soldiers continued, struggling to maintain their personal integrity against that awful, awful phantasmagorum that is this day. It's not back in 76. Now it's here. May 7th, the year 2022 AD, or the year of our Lord. So, uh, We can't. We can no longer this day project our thoughts and reminisce and place ourselves in other times and places while we walk this earth today like zombies. Do you want to live? That is my question to all who care to listen to this little dialogue. Do you want to live? Are you going to survive whatever may occur? It is chaos. Yes, this is chaos. No longer can we enjoy the illusion of peace and order. I told you in the last speech or talk or whatever dialogue that those who are grievously enslaved are people or any anyone, male, female, children, no matter who, these days, unfortunately, age is no longer relevant. We don't know what's going to happen. None of us do. I don't. How could I know? I don't know. I have no clue what's going to happen next. I honestly am not a prognosticator or anything like that. I just live in this moment. What other moment is there? So, all along. Oh, Satsunder, Mr. Satsunder, Mr. Oh, hey, Satsunder. Yeah. Oh, you're not taking your meds. You're crazy. You're so crazy. You're just a little person who does not exist in any way. You have no function in society. You are not a productive member of the community. You're crazy, right? You're a fucking 65-year-old man who's supposed to sit in his chair and listen to my shit. Is that it? Is that so? How about this? And I'm going to tell you, it's kind of hilarious when you hear it. And I'm going to lay it right on you. This is the 172nd Light Infantry Brigade, the 172nd Support Battalion, the 12th SOG of the 9th Squad. I was never proud of that. Never, never in my life did I carry false pride in my heart about where I've been, what I have seen with these two eyes, who I have spoken with, not talked at, not me talking at them, but spoken with. I alone know who I have spoken with and who I have communicated what. So basically, okay, with our Judeo Christian background and our nationalist ideas, yeah, nationalism. It certainly trumps the other. America first. I do not promote my country. That is no way to influence others from different borders. Mine's, I told you in another dialogue in this series, Leonardo, Special Forces Police, the United States Air Force, a good friend of mine, cards, drinking, you name it. He was an intelligence man. He looked me in the eyes one day. He was so pissed off at me. And he said, "Hey, Satsunder, I think about 3 years up in Toma, the Veterans Re-Education Center, also known as Candyland because of the narcotics freely given to everyone who enters the compound and happens to stay another 2 or 3 years just so they can enjoy the dope." You know, in some prisons, in some like, okay, you got Portsmouth Arthur, espionage. Portsmouth Arthur, espionage. Portsmouth Arthur. Espionage is a capital crime punishable by death, even summary execution. Back to 1976, the day, the 11th of May. In 1975, the selective service system uh, temporarily halted. Temporarily, I say, because even though there was no draft after 1975, there continues to this day mandatory registration for the selective service. And I think nowadays, male and female, or whatever the hell you want to be. So that never went away. No, that never went away. No, never went away. So, anyhow, back to basic. Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. First day. First day from the AFES in Los Angeles, California. Those who were screened and passed muster were shuttled off to the air base, which was a civilian. Uh, it was a civilian airport, but uh, military directed. So when we landed in Fort Leonard Wood, which is actually near a very small town called Waynesville, Missouri. That's where Fort Leonard Wood is. Waynesville, Missouri. How do I know? I was there. How do I also know for a fact? For those who doubt my sanity, my sister was born there. So you tell me, have I been saying a line all these times to these shrinks? Why would they never believe the words I said? I have 4,735 pages of documented medical history going all the way back to September 1978. Here's what often would be written, right? These so prestigious, so intelligent, finely dressed, driving their Maseratis. Khalsa. Mr. Khalsa is a poor historian. Mr. Khalsa perhaps is somewhat delusional. Mr. Khalsa denies being suicidal. Mr. Khalsa denies wanting to harm others. Mr. Khalsa is not gravely disabled, but he's considered totally and permanently disabled. And not only that, according to the paperwork of my award letter for my compensation pension, it says this is a settled matter. Settled. All right, here I am, Major Satsunder Singh Khalsa, crazy in the army. Is that so, Mr. Satsunder Singh Khalsa? Crazy in the army. This is not some nightmare with the Beatles playing I read the news today. This is not some sci fi book you pulled off the shelf 15 years ago. This is May the 7th, the year 2022 AD, the year of our Lord. The President of the United States is Joseph R. Biden. The Vice President of the United States is Kamala Harris. The Speaker of the House is Nancy Pelosi. I'm not into politics, and I'm not going to contradict myself on that. I'm going to tell you, in the military, in any hierarchy of business, the CEO, uh, mid-level management, and foreman, and so forth, a hierarchy of compartmentalization, which has a central point. So just that I know these things doesn't mean I'm for them, against them, or even really care. I don't. Mr. Colsa is a poor historian. I remember when I had been living in San Jose, there was this one side street. Uh, they have novel names for streets just about everywhere you go, so that ain't extraordinary. But I lived adjacent to a side street that was called Miracle Street. And there was a house on Miracle Street, which was known as Miracle House, which turned into an outfit, which turned into an organization, which incorporated it as a nonprofit. And in this house was Susan Miller, the director, founder, and, and financial support of such. Can I tell you about Susan Miller? I wish to. Susan was a quadriplegic. She could not speak, and she could not talk, or she heard, but with cochlear implants, something like that. I don't know. And the way she was had to be placed in a motorized chair, and the way she would operate the chair was there was a tube, uh, like a straw, and she'd go, and then she'd puff, and that would uh, function as some sort of control for the mechanical wheelchair. I was stunned. She, like many others in such circumstance, are blessed with the hardware that helps them communicate. The voice, the voice OR, and the VoIP, the VoIP. voice recognition, heart software. It wasn't a voice that emitted from her larynx, and her vocal cords, she couldn't. And and once a person is willing to just sit with them, nothing more. They have something to say. They don't always get the opportunity to share their knowledge. Patients on spinal wards, patients who have uh, gone as far as can go within a controlled environment to teach them to do as much as possible for themselves. So, such a person was Susan. There's great reservoirs of knowledge and wisdom just out there. Great resources, scientists. There was one patient at Miracle House that I had really gotten lucky because, I was straying with my astronomy in a big way. I was struggling with astronomy, confusing it with astrology, as we are often tend to do. Just look at the newspaper every day. There's the astrology section. Hmm? Want to know how your day is going to be? Check out the astrology section, right? And so that's a general kind of misnomer. Astrology. Never compare astrology to the science of astronomy and astrophysics. Remember at San Jose State College and San Jose, the University of California, then as you travel north, there's the two Livermores. There's Lawrence Livermore, and then there's the Lawrence Research Laboratory. Two, not one. Everyone thinks Livermore is just one place. You got to pass through this really interesting area. It's called Turlock, California. Turlock, Turlock. Turlock, California. Check it out. So as you travel north, keep going. Not too far though. Not very far at all. Once you're uh, north of the Lawrence Livermore Laboratory, you pass through Turlock. There's a lake at Turlock, California. It's affectionately called Mud Lake. The the local yokels keep it a good secret, and I hope I didn't hurt it any. But Mud Lake is where you can go. The water is like a mud bath, just like a mud bath. It's all kind of squishy mud when you in your bare feet. Squishes between your toes. And then the lake itself is a little less viscous. So you go, you dip in the lake, you come out, then you go farther into the seaside there in the bank, and you sunbathe. You don't rinse the mud off, you sunbathe. Ah, and when you sunbathe after having dipped in Mud Lake, the liquefied mud on all your skin begins to kind of bake, and it dries, it gets flaky, and while it's doing that, it's absorbing toxins from your sweat glands, from your lymph nodes. After that, you kind of just rub the flaky clay off of you all over, and you feel like a new person. So after my mud bath and preparation, I travel further north to the left, the University of California, Davis. To the right, at a 30-degree angle, and then north. And then right there is the Institute. There, all kinds of research takes place. You name it, they do it. That's the think tank. It's an international think tank. And I can tell you this. So, you've gone up the long route all the way there, and then I just want to get home. So, I go straight towards the ocean and I turn south. And I'm home. Now, along the way south, you have to pass through the Santa Clara freeway system. And there's this most beautiful building. I can tell you this now because they spread it all over the newspapers in such an arrogant and stupid manner. The San Jose uh, Chronicle or Mercury, the San Jose Mercury News, that would be San Jose Mercury News. They they blurted out a great big picture of this beautiful building. I'll describe it in a moment with the crosshairs of a bazooka, right dab center into the building. They did that. This building is affectionately known as the Blue Cube. The Blue Cube, that's the mainframe. Back to Fort Leonard Wood, 1976. A little bit about basic training that we all go through. I don't think I've ever talked about the very beginning. It's not very long, it's just a short trip in good physical shape to begin with. It's all a mind game. It's all you do it, you're done, and they take you to advanced individual training. Once at advanced individual training, you are taught your trade. Aries soldier, that's a secondary thing. For Aries soldier, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Army, Space Force, Coast Guard, National Guard, all of these tie in. The first basic art of a soldier, no matter who, where, sexual identity, none of that. Male, female, black, Asian, Hispanic, Native American, sometimes even folks come from overseas and join up in our military just with the promise of citizenship at the end. There were Koreans from South Korea, Canadians from Canada, you name it, they were there. You name the place, German, French, all nationalities within our alliance were there at, after advanced individual training. After basic was forgotten and you underwent your advanced individual training, in hopes of preparing you for what no one can be prepared for. I was a medical specialist. That was my primary. I had 5 military occupation specialties. 5. The primary, medical specialist. So for each MOS, AIT, 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 AIT. So the primary MOS of all military personnel is that of infantry. After you've completed whatever training is written on your contract, and yes, it's a contract, it's a transaction, it's a contract. Yeah, read the fine print, read the fine print. Nobody reads the fine print. It's a contract. Should your contract be breached, you have the freedom to go. Should you breach your contract, Portsmouth, Arthur, Fort Leavenworth. With this contract, you're guaranteed certain things. You're guaranteed your choice, your primary choice of where you will first be posted at your permanent duty station. That's a permanent duty station Don't let that fool you. I'll tell you what a permanent duty station is. A permanent duty station is a launch pad so that from any point within the globe, an entire brigade could be transported within 30 minutes. I think I've had enough talking to you. I hope you'll have a good day. May God bless you and keep you and your loved ones safe. God bless and peace. May there be peace on earth so that freedom continues.